In April 2025, the quiet, winding river valleys of Pahalgam became the site of a brutal terror attack. 26 civilians in Kashmir were killed, targeted specifically by their religion in an attempt to fracture communities and sow division. India's response was massive and kinetic. Under Operation Sindoor, Indian forces launched precision airstrikes, obliterating 9 terror camps in exactly 23 minutes. The military strike was paired with immediate diplomatic retaliation. India canceled visas, expelled nationals, and took the severe step of suspending the Indus Waters Treaty, triggering furious protests over water access. India then deployed over 70 leaders across the globe on a massive diplomatic blitz, intending to lock Pakistan into a state of permanent international isolation. But in Washington, the reality on the ground began to look very different. Instead of a global freeze-out, Donald Trump stood at a podium publicly praising Pakistan for their help in extending a U.S.-Iran ceasefire. The diplomatic tone shifted. Islamabad was no longer being addressed as a pariah, but as an indispensable mediator state, a necessary bridge between the White House and the Iranian leadership. How does a country absorb a complete military defeat, sidestep a coordinated effort to isolate them, and successfully rewrite their entire international reputation? They bypassed traditional diplomacy entirely. Instead, Pakistan executed an asymmetric, corporate-style crisis management campaign to make themselves useful to American interests. This started with a strategic partnership with World Liberty Financial, a move that tangled Pakistan's financial systems directly with digital assets linked to the Trump inner circle. By engineering these crypto entanglements, powerful American political elites suddenly held a very real, personal financial stake in Pakistan remaining stable and successful. This map shows China's near monopoly on rare earth elements. To break this dependency, the U.S. desperately needed new supply chains. Pakistan filled the gap, signing deals with U.S. firms to supply vital resources like lithium and copper, offering a strategic alternative to China. By providing a solution to a severe American supply chain crisis, Pakistan made itself economically too valuable for Washington to ignore. Simultaneously, Islamabad looked to win over the U.S. military and the American public. They facilitated the high-profile extradition of a suspect tied to the deadly Abbey Gate bombing in Kabul, trading cooperation for immediate political goodwill. They paired that cooperation with millions of dollars poured into Washington lobbying. The resulting paper trail secured direct, open doors to the White House for Pakistani leadership. This access became critical as the threat of a U.S.-Iran war loomed. The world needed a geographic backchannel, and Islamabad was the only viable host. For 21 hours, Pakistani officials hosted marathon talks. They were uniquely suited for the task, physically adjacent to Iran, but politically tethered to the U.S. While the talks didn't produce a formal signed agreement, Pakistan immediately claimed credit for the resulting ceasefire extension, cementing their image as the region's essential peace broker. Through vital resource deals, a strategic extradition, and acting as an opportunistic host, Pakistan bought its way out of diplomatic exile. This survival strategy relied on a hidden web of support. Pakistan had heavy intelligence backing from China, alongside massive infrastructure investments through the CPEC corridor. Saudi Arabia provided an additional layer of robust defense backing, ensuring Pakistan wasn't reliant on just one superpower to maintain its security. India watched this happen and reacted with sharp criticism. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar publicly dismissed Pakistan's new mediator role, labeling it Dalali, suggesting they were acting as nothing more than mere fixers and brokers. India's critique of the arrangement was based on years of history. However, the global community prioritized Pakistan's immediate geopolitical utility over its past record. This left India dealing with heavy diplomatic friction. Relations with the U.S. strained under the Trump administration, and navigating the Middle East became increasingly complicated. India's rigid pro-Israel stance further alienated Iran, causing strategic headaches regarding vital oil imports and port access. India won the kinetic war decisively. Operation Sindoor destroyed its targets. That they struggled to maintain control over the global narrative. In modern geopolitics, hard military power cannot guarantee victory if an adversary successfully entangles themselves in superpower supply chains and backroom lobbying.